episode 29 of Two Girls, a Guy, and a Tardis. We actually just did a half hour of episode, and I didn't hit record, so now we're going to do it again so you guys can hear it. And I'm going to let Joanna start with it, because she started last time.
I don't remember what I said.
Well, we have some stuff to talk about today, but
we went to Sci-Fi!
Yeah, the big news is we were on a Doctor Who fandom panel at Sci-Fi, the first ever downtown Chicago science fiction festival. Convention? Yeah, convention. And it was at the Palmer House Hilton, and we were on a Doctor Who fandom panel along with Geek Girl Chicago, Jeff Burnham, and it was moderated by DePaul University professor Paul Booth. See, and I think Jeff actually is a teacher or something at DePaul too.
I think so.
Yeah, so we were on a panel. I was way outsmarted. But it was fun. It was a bit rambunctious, a bit boisterous. Sometimes we felt like we were watching the panel.
Yep.
Because what we learned for sure is Doctor Who fans are passionate fans. But they're definitely passionate fans. A lot of different opinions, but no, like, there was not one person that said, well, it's dumb.
No.
They may have looked like they were gonna, but they didn't. So.
Well, I always thought if someone came in and, like, listened to this panel, it was filled with people, like, bashing the show and Stephen Moffat, and you would think these people hate this show. Yeah,
you really would. And that's what Paul said that too. It's like, but we do it because we overall love the show still. Everybody loved it. I mean, it's just that's what you do as a fan, as a nerd. You pick something apart, because it's yours. Mm. That's why it's so hard for people when the Doctor switches. Like, there was one person there that said Peter Capaldi's too old. Mm-hmm. He's the same age as the original Doctor. So, there were lots of strong opinions.
Very strong opinions.
Especially when you came down to race and gender.
Yeah. Well thought out, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one woman that said, as a woman of color, she feels, insulted. Or did she say she felt insulted?
I think it was kind of
slighted?
Like she felt like she was owed a
I don't remember how she put it, but
at this point.
But then later on at the Geek Bar Chicago hospitality suite, which we went to, and David did a hell of a job doing what he had to do, especially being he was on panels, he was running the hospitality suite. They had to deal with security. We all got escorted out eventually.
Which I said was the most intimidating thing I think I've ever seen. That lineup of security guards in the hallway.
Only 6 of them.
But the way I was like, they really made you feel like you'd been misbehaving.
I was able to check some stuff off a bucket list. Got us to leave at the hotel downtown. Well, got us to leave a room party at a hotel downtown. Was on a Doctor Who panel. No, it was a good night. But before that happened, there were 2 gentlemen we were talking to from Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'm not going to use their names, but they know who they are. Real nice guys. And the one guy said he felt insulted when she said that because he's half black, and to him, it didn't really matter. Like, it wasn't a big deal to him if the Doctor was ever black or not, because he loved the show for what it is. So there were so many different people there with so many different views on it, but one thing draws them together, that show, or this show that we talk about. Which is kind of what I put in my closing statement, which I thought was pretty good.
I thought all the closing statements were good.
They were all pretty good. But you got to remember, me and Paul had to go last. So we had to follow everybody else. That's the tough part.
I was right in the middle.
Yes, you were. And it was definitely a good time. And everyone was super cool that we were on the panel with. And I hope we get to do it again. I would love to do it at Chicago Tardis. Oh, I would love it so much. Oh, that'd be so cool.
So if Chicago Tardis people are listening,
it's got to be there's got to be a person from there that listens to us. You'd hope. Maybe. Please.
Please.
Hope so. What did you think of the experience, Nicole?
I thought it was fun. I mean, any chance to talk about Doctor Who is pretty much a good one.
Yeah.
And yeah, no one was insulting or took things too personally. Everyone had their different opinions, but was respectful of other people.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't any issue, although there were times when sometimes I felt like I disagreed a little bit with the room, but I wasn't completely sure. I wanted to throw myself out there as like, okay, you're all in agreement, but I think maybe.
Well, I kind of went out on a limb a couple times, and I'm like, I know I sometimes I go, I might be the only one here that liked the Christmas or not the Christmas. I might be the only one here that really enjoyed the 50th because there was a lot of bashing about that episode.
I defended the 50th,
and I'm
too.
like, I liked it, and people are like, oh no, we liked it too. I'm like, oh, well, okay, well, cool.
Yeah, that was, so many people were criticizing that, and I think both of us at one point came out as going like, well,
I really liked it. I thought it was well done.
It was good.
And they all thought it was, but again, we're all Doctor Who fans. We're gonna,
tear it to shreds.
And I think the fact of the matter is that because we're all Doctor Who fans, and that's why we respect everyone else's opinion the way. I mean, I'm sure there were some arguments that probably could have got a little out of hand, but they didn't. And it was such a cross section of like the world. I mean, I don't know if anybody was there from outside of the U.S., but still, I mean, the age range we had to be from like 10 up.
Yeah.
I mean, there were old fans that must have watched like the minute Tom Baker was on the air here, and there were fans that came in at the new Doctor. There were fans that started watching with the 8th Doctor. I mean, it was impressive.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people.
Yeah, it really did span from children on up.
It did.
Because we had several children.
Mm-hmm. We talked about sex in the TARDIS a little bit. Brought up about is it that it wasn't there or that it was implied? And basically, I mean, I think I don't think I made it clear because people kind of said exactly what I was thinking. But so maybe I didn't say it right. But basically, I think it was always there to an extent, depending on especially from the 3rd Doctor up. Just it was more implied, especially with the 4th Doctor and
Romana.
Yeah. They go to Paris, the city of love. Come on. But it was more implied. Where now it's more out in the open.
Well, now there can be whole storylines built around it.
Yeah. Well, damn you, Moffat. Big. Speaking of Chicago, well, we'll get to that in a second. So you had a good time on it?
Yep.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, I'd do it again. I said any chance to sit around and talk Doctor Who.
What about you, Joanna? Do you have a good time?
Oh my gosh, it was an experience. It was a lot of fun, and because again we met more fans, we kept on trying to talk to people, and the people that we talked to before and after the panel were fantastic. They were polite, they were fun. I think we made some good connections. I'm hoping. So it was a good time.
Yeah, there were. That was a slight little brush with celebrity.
Yeah, it was definitely like a brush with being a local celeb. It was kind of fun.
People talking to you after the panel. It was like, oh.
Yeah, there were a good amount of people that did come up and ask questions, and we kind of ran long. That you could.
I mean, people got a chance to talk and state their opinions. They're very strong opinions, but there's nothing wrong with those strong opinions.
Was it the only panel about a TV show? There was one about how to make an audio drama with the people from Our Fair City. Clayton was there and Jeffrey, which was a good panel. We were watching that. We sat there.
Yeah.
Lauren, our Geek Girl Chicago friend, moderated that one.
Yeah.
But
the one after us had something to do with Star Wars and lightsabers. Was it like fighting or something?
Oh, and to be fair, there was a gentleman from Babylon 5 there, too. They had live bands playing. It was a good time. But in other convention news, many of you out there don't like Wizard World Chicago. I know I'm in the minority because I like it. But this year, even if you don't, you might want to think about going on Saturday only, because Matt Smith and Karen Gillan will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of big news.
Yeah.
So, definitely, I don't know. I mean, that's going to fill up quick, I would think.
Yeah. I wondered at first, because they announced Karen Gillan first. And then I kept seeing that Matt Smith was doing other Wizard Worlds, and I was like, is he going to come?
Yeah, so when they announced that they were both going to be there, it was kind of like, oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely going to go to that. So, there goes all my money.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago Tardis has not announced any guests yet.
No. No, they're going to go bold this year. No guests.
Just
us.
Just panels. Just us on a panel all day. I would do that. I would totally do that. I'd be like, fine, I'm sure I could talk all day about Doctor Who. And from the beginning to the end, I'm sure I'll have made a hypocrite of myself 4 different times, but still, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
But so if you're listening, yeah, please. But I guess everyone had a good time, right? Joanna, you too?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Just yes.
Yes.
And I think I asked you that a second ago. I think I asked you that like 2 minutes ago, and you told us you did. So I'm out of it, a little out of it.
So she isn't a hypocrite.
No,
Nope.
no, she is definitely not. On to some casting news.
We have some C2E2 stuff. On April 26th, 11:45 to 12:45, it's C2E2's Fan Village. They're going to have like a Doctor Who gathering. So whose Doctor is it anyway? So we're going to C2E2 in the Fan Village.
What day is that?
Saturday.
I will be there Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there Saturday.
Are you going to C2E2, Nicole?
I don't think so, but I haven't officially decided. I haven't really given it much thought at this point.
I have friends that do another podcast for video gaming, and the creator of it, she got them press passes. She finagled it and got press passes for them, and 2 of them left the podcast and haven't returned her calls. It's like, wow, that's shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you pick them. But, so that's all the con news I think we have, for our local area anyway.
Mm.
There is casting news. Joanna?
There is a guy by the name of Ben Miller. And he's a Series 8 villain.
I think he's going to be the Master.
Well, those are the rumors.
Well, I thought the April 1st rumor was hilarious that Arthur Darvill would be the Master. I would have went for that.
I saw that. I was like, wait a minute. No. Hey, that's...
No, you posted it and you were like, oh, could it be?
April Fools!
You didn't put April Fools on it.
I did. I entered it a few times just to try to, throw people off. So, if you say more, if you click on the more link, it said April Fools on it, so...
Ben Miller, who was... Nicole, you said he was one of the...
rumored to
be the next Doctor.
Really? You're that lazy?
He was actually Mr. Smith, the voice of Mr. Smith, and he was in...
Mr. Smith?
Of the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought you were talking about.
And
I hate saying it. I didn't really watch those.
And in The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
But he looks like he's going to be... If I had a guess, I'd say the Master, looking at the pictures of him. Any other casting news?
I don't think since our last podcast. I think we covered all the other casting news last time.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet. Almost everyone at that panel was pretty ready for Peter Capaldi. I mean, they all seemed relative, except one
for
person.
one guy.
One guy. He's too old. All right. Well, whatever, man. That's your deal. You think he's too old? That's all right. But yeah, everyone else was like, "Oh, we can't wait for a change. I'm tired of this kid running around." Even people younger than Matt Smith were saying that. Mm-hmm. And I think that to me that's what made me tire out. It was cute for a little bit and it was fun for a little bit, but then they just almost became a mockery of themselves. So today on Twitter, I asked people for questions. We have 2 questions from a listener. One listener. I know there's like 600 of you out there. Come on, next time. A little help. Or maybe everyone just thinks we're hit or spot on all the time. Because I was going to say let's talk about who our favorite doctors are and stuff, but we got a fan questions, so why not, right? So first, he's another podcaster from Chicago, Who37, and said if you could magically recover a missing story but had to wipe an existing one in its place, which stories would you pick? First off, Curse of the Black Spot gone.
I think I'd go for maybe Journey to the Center of the Tardis. You didn't like that one.
But that was it was still better than Curse of this Black Spot. Somebody completely vanishes from the set.
It's got flaws, but
she's biting her lip, people. She's like not sure if she wants to say it.
Journey's End.
We know that I really don't like the end of time. I know it, but I feel a little bad because it's a regeneration story. So most of that story could just go, or Planet of the Dead. That one was
still better than
pretty
Curse
forgettable.
Still better than Curse of the Black Spot. The only reason you remember Curse of the Black Spot is because it was hideous.
What about the Cube episode?
Yeah, but that was at least watchable, and there were moments of that were fun, like the cubes doing their things and stuff. At least that. Every episode, name one redeeming value of... Oh, no, Curse of the Black Spot, the redeeming value was the credits at the end. I mean, come on.
Amy dressed as a pirate.
Okay, I love redheads, and chicks dressed as pirates. I'm a video gamer, come on. There's plenty of those. She didn't do it for me in that. Seriously. Like I'm like, oh, Amy. I'm like, oh, sweet. Amy dressed as a pirate. Then I'm like, no, just no. So for me, that's the one that would go. If I could bring back any story. Okay, why don't you guys talk about which ones you'd get rid of, and pick yours to go while I think about what story I'd bring back. Because that's a tough one.
All the stories too well, but. For me, I've always...
You're on the computer. Use Google.
Stop it.
I might go for... I would go for one of the... It's funny, because neither one of us thought of getting rid of, like, a classic episode. We both immediately went to the new series, and we'd wipe something
Because seriously, I could watch pretty much any classic episode.
Although, if I had to get rid of a classic episode, I might go for The Monster of Peladon. Because...
What's in that one that you...
I think it is so
Is that the Tom Baker one?
Stupid. No.
That's
it's Pertwee. And I love Pertwee. But it's just a rehash of the Curse of Peladon. He goes back there in the future. Everything he did made no difference. They have the exact same problem all over again with the daughter of the guy that he put on the right path before.
No, he
and
says...
it's preachy and annoying. I might go for that one as much as I love Pertwee if I had to do a classic.
Oh, I'm so torn. Okay, well, Joanna, which one would you get rid of?
I don't know.
Well, keep thinking about it. So, yours is Monster of Paladin. Go ahead.
Rainbow and Silver.
Oh, that's a good one to get rid of, too.
I'd still go for Journey to the Center of the Tardis over that one.
Really?
I didn't like that one.
Even with those kids?
The kids are annoying, but I hated those Salvage Brothers so much.
Really? What about...
What about
the constant Windows upgrading mockery with the Cybermen?
No, that one was not great.
See, I'm an electronics technician.
That was not great.
You cannot get electrocuted and then do a software update that's going to magically prevent water from electrocuting you. So no.
Mm-hmm. No, that one had flaws, but Journey to the Center of the Tardis, I just hated those Salvage Brothers.
I did too.
So mean
but there
to
was
that
so
other
many.
brother.
But there were so many other cool things in that episode. You know, the problem was as an episode, it had a lot of cool parts in it, but it didn't gel well. Like when he's at the center of the TARDIS, you see the star and all. I mean, there's so many neat things. The observatory was cool. The library was great. There were so many neat little parts that I could get past it because it was made just for that reason. But there were classic episodes where they saw way more of the TARDIS than that.
I said I really dislike, as we know, The End of Time, but I would feel a little bad wiping that because it is a regeneration story. But that might be my least favorite story. Planet of the Dead, I said, would be up there, and Love and Monsters.
God,
that one
Oof.
you could wipe.
Yeah, that's a tough.
Maybe I'd go with that one.
I'm not a huge fan of Dr. Light ones. Oh, Blink worked.
Yep.
But a lot of them, to me, it's just,
Yeah.
I would still say Curse of the Black Spot.
I've now given, 5. Looks like I hate the show now. I'm becoming one of the people from... I'm going to criticize everything.
But we did that there, too. But you didn't pick one, so pick one.
I really hate The End of Time.
All right.
I would get rid of that in a heartbeat, except I would feel bad.
Listen, McGann and Eccleston didn't have regenerations originally. Don't worry about it. Okay, so, Joanna, you still thinking about yours?
The Curse of the Black Spot. No, not
Nightmare
Curse of the
in
Black Spot. Nightmare in Silver.
Nightmare of the Black Spot. You know what? If you combine those two, that would be a better episode.
Absolutely.
All right, now I'm looking at a list of lost episodes, and I have some of these as reconstructions, so I've heard the audio to them. For me, it would have to be. I would say a Troughton one for sure. There's a good amount of Hartnell ones out there that you could watch. You know, so much of Troughton was lost, but which one?
I know which one I'd pick.
I don't know. I mean, the Highlanders is a good call for one. The Evil of the Daleks, the Ice Warriors. I mean, I like sci-fi though, futuristic sci-fi stuff. So for me, maybe the Wheel in Space. Is that where they get Zoe?
Yeah.
She's a math genius or something. Not a math genius.
On
She's working as on the space station.
Yeah.
I've heard the audio from it. I like it. The Invasion, we got that animated reconstruction of. I almost would rather see the original. So many of them that I've heard the audio and been like, I'm gonna go with the Wheel in Space because Zoe Troughton, I can't think of her name, so I'm saying her name and then the actor's real name, Zoe the Doctor and
Jamie.
Thank you. And Jamie were so good together. Like, I'd want that one back.
I'd go for Power of the Daleks.
See, that's a really good one too. I've heard audio from that, and it's good.
Troughton's first. I'd love to see how he regenerated. See what he did in the first episode, because he's so bizarre in that one.
Well, yeah, he doesn't know I was listening to the recon of that a couple of weeks ago. Maybe last week. And I want to say he doesn't even realize he's a doctor, and they're like, you're the doctor.
Yeah. He talks about the doctor like he's not the doctor, wears the silly hats.
Mm-hmm.
It seems so bizarre. I would love to see that first episode.
I mean, isn't it the departure of those two companions? Because then the next episode's the Highlanders, isn't it?
They're still there. They're there till the faceless ones. Ben and Polly.
Are they really there that long? So they're with Jamie that long?
Yep. That's why Jamie is unconscious for most of the moon base. He doesn't do too much in the Underwater Menace. He just runs around in a wetsuit. Which
I'm sure you wouldn't mind seeing either.
He and Ben both seem to run around in wetsuits, and Polly wears her hula skirt and shells.
Okay, Joanna.
I don't know any of too much of the classic episodes.
Ooh, the Celestial Toymaker would be a good one too, though. I already picked mine. I'm not going back on it.
You can pick another one for me.
I can't pick for you. I'll let Nicole pick for you. I already talk way too much on this.
I'm kind of curious.
If I was going to take, since we did Troughton's, I'd pick a Hartnell, just to be fair. I think I'd go for the Massacre.
Really?
I loved that one. I have the audio. I love that one. And it's I know it's one of the historicals, but it's got Hartnell in the double role. He's the evil Abbot of Amboise, as well as the Doctor.
It's true.
That one would be fun.
This is our drinking episode, apparently.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, so to answer that question, I'm going to say that those are our choices. I don't know if you can really go... No, Marco Polo would be boring as hell. I've tried listening to the audio, and it's... You know what? If you want a good night's rest, listen to the audio from Marco Polo. Because, first off, it's like, it never ends. It's pretty long.
It's got a good premise, though.
It does.
Every episode, the problem with that is listening to it, every episode seems to be the same problem. It's, we're going to sneak into the Tardis and get away. And then it's like, uh-oh, somebody caught us. Now we have to wait again. And then the next episode comes and it's, okay, we're going to sneak into the Tardis and get away.
And in the meantime, the Marco Polo and the other guy, like, his buddy's like, you can't trust him. And Marco Polo's like, sure I can. And then they tried, yeah, exactly.
And then he goes, no, I can't now. And then they have to earn his trust back.
And then by the end of it, they try to sneak away again after he goes, I could trust them. So, yeah. The Invasion would be a good one, though, too. What was Fury of the Deep? Who was in that, the bad guys?
That's the one with all the foam. Because I've watched the extra footage where it's just them in foam, where they're...
You know, the Macra Terror would be okay, because we never saw them. But I think they're just giant crabs.
Yeah.
I mean...
We got a little peek at them in Gridlock, too, in the new series.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that...
Macra devolved.
Even that episode wasn't great. Great special effects. A lot of good special effects in that one, though. So, then, Who 37 also... This one's directed more towards me. A few episodes ago, I made a comment about Talons of Wang Chiang. I hadn't watched it in... I couldn't tell you how long. A long time. So, he... I think it was on Facebook or Twitter or... Somewhere we had a small discussion about it. I'm like, well, to be fair, I mean, I haven't watched it in a long time, and I remember not really caring for it. And he's like, well, how about you rewatch it and, talk about it one day? I'm like, all right. You've seen it, right, Nicole?
Yep.
Joanna, you've never seen it, right?
Yep.
Okay, it's somewhat controversial because it's about a Chinese guy.
Mildly racist.
But was it, at the time, was it really? I mean,
well, I mean,
kind of,
yeah,
it is, but you're also talking about a show that was that had many different, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because at the time it wasn't as unusual to have, like, non-Asian
Asians
actors
playing an Asian.
What made look at Marco Polo.
Yeah, what made this one a little bit racist is the fact that there were a lot of other Asian actors in it, except for the guy that was the lead Chinese guy.
Mm.
So I rewatched it. And it's not as bad as I remember. Like, the storyline's not really horrible. It's not bad. And
the Doctor and Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Kind of mode.
Yeah, so it's not bad. The premise is that you have this amazing illusionist and magician who has a... not doll, what are those called? Like a ventriloquist like a ventriloquist dummy, but you find out it's not a dummy. It's actually like an alien or something. Or creature of some sort. Mm-hmm. And he does all this stuff, and you find out he's working for Wang Chiang, right? Because his name's not Wang Chiang.
Yeah, I think it
I believe. I watched it a few weeks ago, so I'm trying to think about it. But he, women are disappearing. I know that. Mm-hmm. They're, like, women go there and they talk to him and then they disappear. No one knows where they're at. And if the husbands or boyfriends come looking for them, something bad usually befalls them. Mm-hmm. And it takes place in a theater. And this theater manager's, paying him for the show, and it's like, oh, you've done such a great job. And he's really working for this other guy who's trying to... What the hell is he trying to do? Well, I'm sure somewhere along the lines it has to do with world domination. I mean, it always does. There's some interesting characters. There's some good parts in it. There's a few good actors in it. What I still don't care for is that I think it's just too long. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a part where the theater manager and this other guy that the Doctor befriends, like, go to, like, the main hideout. Like, just when you think it's over, suddenly there's an episode of, oh, the bad guy escaped. Oh, we should track him down. So they go and they get captured, and then the Doctor has to go there again and rescue him, so they're in the hideout again.
Yep.
So I think it's just a little long, but yeah, my opinion's changed watching it again. It's not, it's not my favorite, but I'd watch it again. It wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. It was enjoyable. Parts of it were really well done, but I could see why a lot of people did not like. Oh, and let's be fair, Louise Jameson's in it, and she is rather violent in that one again, which is that's Leela. Mm-hmm. I mean,
but she's dressed in Victorian garb instead of her usual. So
weird seeing that. But yeah, it was definitely a lot better than I remembered it. It is very kind. It's 6 episodes, and to be honest, it's probably 1 or 2 too many. Tom Baker is dressed like Sherlock Holmes through a good part of it, which is entertaining. You know, it goes along with the whole Sherlockian thing that everyone always says. Takes place in London. What is that? Maybe the 1800s.
I think like turn of the century kind of time.
Yeah. The stage magician's name is Lee Hsien Chang. Hsien Chang, I believe it. H'. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
I should know, but I always screwed up my Chinese pronunciations.
Oh, it starts off Leela kicks some butt because they find a cab driver being murdered, and she like starts beating up the guys, and they detain one of them, and they all end up arrested, and then that's when the doctor goes into you know, Sherlock Holmes mode. He finds that there's a scorpion tattoo. Is it a scorpion tattoo? A scorpion tattoo on one of the guys, and it's a symbol of the Tong called the Black Scorpion. So it deals with a lot of different things. Actually, I'd like to extend an invite to Who 37 to Skype in or something one day, and we'll talk about it. I mean, why not? See what his take on it is. And there's a lot of death in it. Yeah. There really is. And there's giant rats.
Yes. Which I think Louise Jameson said she was like really sick or something when she was filming that, and she had to be like in this like fake sewer and the water, and she was like really, really ill and being attacked by these fake giant rats, which when they're actually moving, they're clearly just regular rats filmed to look big.
Oh, Mr. Sin was the name of the little guy, and he was from the. Was he from the future? He was from the future, I believe. And that's how they did a lot of this stuff. Like a lot of the murders and stuff he would do because he was small. He would sneak in places. So, yeah, it was...
Evil, tiny henchman.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't... That wasn't too long after Man with the Golden Gun. So were they stealing a little from James Bond? Mm-hmm. So an evil henchman.
That's midget. But, yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, well, Leela rescues some of the girls. They think they're going to take her, and that doesn't really work out well.
No, you don't take Leela.
I just don't remember what the bad guy was trying to accomplish.
No. I remember the ending, and they're all there.
There's a time cabinet in it.
Yeah.
Was he just trying to get back to the future? Or was he trying to alter something? For some reason, I can't remember. And
no, he was like taking. Wasn't he? He was like
because
taking
the one guy
life
that
force from the girls.
Yeah, but what was he using it? What was he using it for? Because weren't they all hooked up to some machine or something?
It like drained their life force, and then that's why they needed new ones.
But it had to do. They had a time. There was a time cabinet that it looked like a not sarcophagus. What did it look? The one guy's house had it, and it looked like it was a time cabinet, and they tried stealing it from him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you
I think there were even time agents. I think there were even time agents in it.
When you said that, I'm like, I don't remember what his ultimate goal was. I remember draining the life force from the girls.
I remember the one. I also remember that like Leela was totally just like. They go to the guy's house to eat, and she just. Like, takes up a leg of lamb and starts chowing down.
And then he does.
The guy's like, well, when in Rome. He just starts doing it.
To make his guests feel at ease. They're so accommodating.
He was a little enamored with her, I think. I think his name was Lightfoot, maybe. Lightfoot, something like that. Yeah, thanks for bringing that down. Yeah, I just don't remember what.
No.
I think he fled the future in the time cabinet, but I don't remember what he was trying to get it back for. Oh, you know what? I think he was just trying to get it back because they found him, and he was trying to escape again. But I mean, yeah, overall, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was originally when I was younger. So yes, 237. I've changed my mind about it. It's not nearly as bad as I remember. It was enjoyable. There were some pretty good parts in it. So yeah, that's that. And hey, next time more you can send us questions.
Please do.
It was nice of him to send 2 of them, so that was good. Joanna, who's your favorite Doctor?
Gosh, probably not Matt Smith, David Tennant. Since I'm a New Who girl, I'm going to go with David Tennant.
Okay. Nicole, favorite Doctor? See, for me and Nicole, it gets harder because we don't have 4 to choose from. How many are there now total?
Well, are we counting John Hurt?
Are they in the series counting him? Yeah, right. What's Capaldi? 13?
I don't know, though, because when Matt Smith regenerated, it was the clock is striking 12. In that poem, the clock is striking 12.
That's right.
Even though we have John Hurt, the War Doctor, who doesn't apparently get a number, even though he would technically be 9.
What about the Valyard?
I don't think they ever really count him in the...
He was a regeneration. He was a future regeneration, so they don't say he was how far, though.
I think they say...
Oh, no, they do.
He
was in between the 12th and the 13th.
Yeah, so we've passed the Valyard.
Maybe Capaldi's the Valyard. No. Peter Capaldi. Oh, I thought you said who. I'm like, no, Peter Capaldi. So
for a moment there, I thought you were being bold. My favorite Doctor is Peter Capaldi. We've only seen his eyes and a few seconds, but...
My liver. My kidneys.
How do you fly this thing?
Oops.
So, Nicole, who's your favorite Doctor, then?
It's like choosing a favorite child. It's hard.
That would be easier.
I love Pertwee.
Yeah. Do you want me to make this easier and say your top 3?
Top 3 I could do.
I could do top 3 way easier than picking one.
Yeah.
Pertwee, Davison, McCoy would be my top 3.
I'm going to be bold and say Pertwee, Troughton, and Smith. I really like Matt Smith.
Oh, we're counting the new ones? That's right, we would be counting the new ones. Damn it. Oh, man, because I really like Tennant. It's hard. Narrowing it down to 3 is hard. Dividing it between the 2 series is easy, but narrowing it down...
Choosing in the new series, then, your top 3, at the moment, you have...
Well, you have John Hurt, Eccleston.
I would watch a whole series of John Hurt.
I would, too. I think he was great. I loved how he played it.
Mm-hmm. If I could see more of his Doctor...
Who do I want to bump out of my top 3 to make room for Tennant? I mean, really, it would have to be... I don't even know. Maybe... I really like Davison, but I really like McCoy, too, for 2 different reasons. I would go with Pertwee, Tennant... McCoy. I really did like Davison's Doctor, but he'd be 4th then. Unless we can't do ties for 3rd, so. Well, because I like them both, but they're just so different from each other. You know?
Yes, they are.
Like, completely different. You don't get much more different than McCoy and Davison. Mm-hmm. Well, Colin Baker and everybody else. Although, in a sense, really, Colin Baker's Doctor... I could never put him... I mean, but I was trying to compare him to another one, and you can't. He's completely different than... But yeah, I would take... From the new series, I would take Tennant as my favorite from the new. Because after watching the special, the 50th anniversary, it made me realize how much I liked David Tennant. Okay, so Joanna, if you had to pick 3, who would you pick?
Definitely David Tennant. Of all the classic series,
because you had watched some classic series.
Oh yeah, I'd probably do just McCoy, and then Davison, or maybe like Hartnell, because he's the one that started it all.
Wow, that is a range.
Yeah.
Davison or Hartnell? Grumpy old man, caring young guy.
I would probably do the caring young guy at this point.
Davison had a certain charm when he played him. I really liked a lot of those episodes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he's a lot like David Tennant's Doctor's a lot more like Davison, which was his doctor growing up. David Tennant,
more attached to,
more human.
More human, yeah. More.
Of course, the Doctor is half human. Nobody says. I haven't heard anybody going, well, the Doctor is half human. Everybody just pretends that wasn't said. Well, I'm sure there are some people that don't. I wouldn't want to offend the group of people that have taken that as canon as well. But most of us just kind of pretend that was never said. Can argue matters of canon on the tiniest little insignificant things, but we all just turn our heads from that.
You know what? It's all canon. Everything's canon. I don't care anymore. From hear ye, I now decree all things written are canon. Including the things that contradict themselves directly. Like how we've seen Vesuvius erupt in 4 different ways. 3? 4? 3 different? Something like that. Been there a few times.
It's quite a few.
Yeah, give me this baby monitor, that has a battery that lasts all of 10 minutes, was really a good idea. I really hanging in there. Just beep.
That baby monitor is the new reason why Vesuvius erupted.
Very well could be. Mm-hmm. Maybe Capaldi's doctor can go back and see what happens.
Visit himself.
No, he won't be there. It'll be a whole other thing.
I'd like to see him go back and visit himself.
He looks at him. You're a handsome guy. So are you. It's like that episode. There's an episode of Family Guy where like Mr. Peter Schmidt and the doctor are in the same room together, but they have the same voice because it's the same actor and almost the exact same voice. You're like, Peter says I sound like you. Really? I don't hear it. The canon arguments. Oh, thank God it didn't devolve into that at the panel. What about the movies? They had Daleks. Was he the doctor? Wasn't he the doctor? And quit with the numerology. Oh, we know we get it. Everywhere I look, there's a number 13. Wait a minute.
But now it's even more annoying that there were all those 11s when I'm like, well, technically now he is the 13th Doctor. He said it. Tennant's regeneration counted as a whole
No,
other...
Tennant getting shot in the leg counted as another regeneration because he was so vain he didn't want to change his appearance.
Yeah. And then you've got the War Doctor, so now he's 13. I'm like, so then why did we emphasize the 11 so much if you were going to mess with the numbers?
Because he didn't know he was going to mess with the numbers.
He has a plan.
The Doctor lies, and so does Stephen Moffat.
No.
So I guess that's this episode.
That's the end. The Doctor and Stephen Moffat lie. The end.
The end. We're kind of out of stuff. And I'm like, 51 minutes. We're just kind of babbling now. Just giving opinions. Joanna did name her top 3, right?
I think I did.
Yeah.
Tennant, McCoy, and Hartnell.
Davison.
Oh, I thought. Oh, because you said Davison or Hartnell. I didn't remember if you
Then
actually
she
made
said
the choice.
Davison.
You said Davison.
She said she'd go with.
Oh, that's right. She'd go with
guy.
youth and that young caring guy. Yeah.
Cranky old doctor, and I said young caring doctor.
Hoping Peter Capaldi brings back Venusian and Nikito. That'd be awesome.
The what?
Venusian Aikido.
What is that?
That's what John Pertwee's doctor used. Mm-hmm. There's an episode he's running through like a refinery or something, and like security guards are coming at him, and they're filming it like from a helicopter, like a Bond movie, and he's just like flipping guys over and karate chopping people. It's like he escapes. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he escapes, right? They don't catch him.
He can sword fight.
He's a man of action. Stay tuned.
Wow.
John Pertwee is the doctor. But yeah, he's like sword fighting the master. He's
like,
firing guns.
He's like Dr. Bond.
Yeah. And you know what?
Doctor Who
You know what?
verse.
One thing that, there's more than one thing that Davis did that pissed me off. But Davros, the man who doesn't carry a gun. I can go through almost any classic series and find you one episode every year, or probably every season, of him carrying a gun, or especially Pertwee. He's shooting those worm things in the one episode.
When we were watching Resurrection of the Daleks, Davison.
Oh yeah, he's going to shoot Davros. He's carrying a gun. Yeah, yeah. He carries them. He's done it. He's shot him. He knows how it works. And then the War Doctor, remember? He puts the guns on.
Part of it is all the different showrunners. The producer takes over, and then they're like, well, this is the story I want to tell. Forget about the old guy stuff. This is my story.
I have to make a name for myself.
So then, continuity sometimes goes out the window.
Sometimes. But see, you can get away with it, because what's continuity in a show about time travel? Time's not linear. I mean, to us it is, but...
It is a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
And on that note, we'll see you in a couple weeks, and we'll have probably more to talk about. Maybe we'll have some guests for Chicago Tardis if they post them. But thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. Who 37? The invite's still open. So let me know. You know how to contact us. And
sounds like a threat.
It's not a threat.
You know how to contact us.
You know where to find us. No, no, but we'd love having guests on. So we're trying to. I'm gonna see about lining up a few for the next couple episodes. See how it goes.
Ooh, that could be fun.
It usually is. So we'll see. So take care, and everyone go watch some Doctor Who. Just not Curse of the Black Spot.
Or The End of Time.
Or Nightmare Silver.
Or Nightmare on the Black Spot at the end of time.
True. All of them probably would be better than what we said don't watch.
Nightmare in Silver on the Black Spot. No, wait. Curse of the Nightmare in Silver at the end of time. So, anyways, good night.